All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations. And we've had a change of plans for today. I'm on closer to 6:30 than I am 6. And I had to come on early because later I'm going to be taking my mother-in-law to the hospital because her youngest son, my brother-in-law, is having a procedure today. And she wants to go to the hospital to see him. And he really didn't want her there all day. And after the procedure, he's going to have to be still and quiet for like 6 hours. So he said to bring her after lunch. And he doesn't even know if he's going to stay in the hospital, but she wants to be there. So yeah, I got to do that right at the time I normally would come on. So I'm hoping I remembered everything this morning. I probably haven't. Forgot to turn the autofocus off. I know that right now. All right. So we're going to do a prompt game today. We haven't done one in a very long time. And I pulled out this. Let me move some of this stuff. I pulled out an old journal that I had made from a canvas I had found at the Goodwill bins. I'll open it up here. And this was just a canvas, and I cut it off the boards and turned it. It's just the canvas, floppy canvas. But it was so pretty, I couldn't leave it in the bins and have it go to the dump. So there you go. And handmade journal from 2023. So I figured we ought to work in it. I guess I'll do a quick flip through. That's a mandala I created, a rabbit I sketched and colored in. This was a card I think I sent. Well, I did the flower with Barb Owen because she was showing how to do flowers. And then I sent her a card made with that flower. And then this was one of the pages we did in a color theme. So this was, I think, was the purple folder. And I think that's all I've done in here. Now, this is a mix of paper, and I am going to work on the back sides of the pages. And it's different sizes, different types of paper. I think there's 2 signatures in here. And the paper's different sizes and different heights and stuff. That one says mixed media paper. Maybe we'll do one in the back. This is a canvas paper here. So let's just go to that mixed media that's in the back here. I think this was mixed media paper here. We'll just do the back side of this piece of mixed media today. And we'll go from there. So I'm going to get a clip out here. And we'll just clip this over onto that. And we're going to work on this page right here. See if I can get us over here. And then I've pulled out my prompt box of prompts that I've made. And we're just going to pull some of these out. Let's pull out the tiny deck here. This is a real tiny deck. And these were made using some different prompt games that I just cut apart and turned into prompt cards. So we will pull out a few of these. So what do you think? About 6 prompts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll put the rest of these over to the side in case we need a substitute, because not everybody likes the prompts I pull out. Now, I'm going to just do them one at a time, and we'll go from there. Sometimes I show all of the prompts at once, and then you can decide what order. Maybe we'll do that. Let's do that instead. I'll just tell you what the prompts are, and then I can put the prompts in the chat. So this one says splatter with a burnt orange. Add splatter. Use a spray paint or ink. Add fibers. Use a fine liner. And a magazine images. So this is quite interesting. This could go really quick or really bad. I've got splatter twice. I think I'm going to I'll keep the burnt orange splatter. I'm going to switch this one out for a different card. Add numbers. Okay. And the rest of these we'll see if we can utilize. So I'm just going to type the prompts. That's my Costco list. So I'm just going to put the prompts in the chat. And if you'd like to play along, you can mix them up. Let's see if I can type these in and then put them at the top of the chat. Let's see. I'm numbering them, but you don't have to do them in that order if you don't want to. And I'm sorry I'm having to come on so early today, but it can't be helped. I will mention he does have a spouse, and yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that. I could go on, but yeah. So I did 6. I did 6 prompts. Magazine images, that's the 6. All right. So I'm going to put that in there, and I can pin that message. There you go. So that's pinned at the top now. And so if you come in late, the prompts are right there on the screen, and feel free to use them. All right. Interesting. Well, thank you for the person that gave me a thumbs up this morning. Good morning. I'm going to put these in the order that I'm going to do them. So I think I will do magazine images and then add numbers and add fibers and then use the spray paint or ink and splatter with orange. And then the very last thing is use a fine liner. All right. So I guess first thing I'm going to do is glue down some magazine images onto this page. I guess I'll just use the ones I have right here on the table. So let's see here. These are just things I recently cut out of a page. Let's see here. think I'll glue those down like this. This could be a really quick page at this rate. Morning, Deb. How are you today? Let's see. I need something to glue with it. I went through and did a little cleanup in my room. Not nearly enough, but I did some. See if we can get the last of this. I wish I could find this Elmer's Extreme Glue again. So I got some of that. I thought, let's try to use up this glue sticks. I'm not real good about using glue sticks, and I think that's what you have to get used to using when you do collage. Let's see. I'm probably not going to order anything out of the Hirschner's catalog, so I'm going to use it as my glue spot. And I'm just going to glue these magazine images down to cover this page up. We'll do that first. It keeps looking like it's going to rain here, and I wish it would get off its, proverbial tail and do it. I had to water the tomatoes and bell peppers I planted out back yesterday. So I'm just going to put this up here. Gluing is fun unless you can't stand the feeling of glue on your hands like I can't. So I think that's why I don't do more collage. Now, Ian Lahr just sent me a field notes book that we're going to kind of work in together because she had so many of them. And so I need to focus on getting a page done in that about once a week. I might do a standalone video for that project. I need a scrapey knife, and I'm not sure where they are right now. So get that last little bit out of that too. I think this one's in the same state. And I do like the purple glue because you can see where you've put it and that you've got it everywhere. But for some reason, it's especially sticky. Sorry, Scarlett Johansson. I'm putting glue on your head. Sorry. So we will put this on here. But I was talking about cleaning up my space in here a little bit. I've thrifted and bought those patterns recently, so I took the time to scan those into Trello. So I now have the information on my phone of what those patterns require. So if I'm out and about, I know how many yards I would need for, specific projects because I have all that information with me for all of my patterns now, or at least all the ones I've come across that I've picked up thrifting and I think this issue is all about favorite old TV shows or something. Spreading the glue. And I saw that Keely at Home Tea Knits, she's going to be doing a breakfast in July instead of Christmas because she says she's just not in the mood to do Christmas in July. So I was watching her this morning make breakfast for her little people. And we'll look forward to having breakfast with her tomorrow. Haven't watched Sonia's Steptoe yet. I usually watch Sonia when I'm making breakfast. She does some beautiful stitching. I don't think I got enough on that edge. And then I got that last picture. This girl looks like she's so busy. Let's trim this off a little bit on the edge so it's not so rough. I did do some work on my cross stitch yesterday, and I'm making progress on that flower. If I can just get this white flower done, I can move on to something more colorful on the page. And I'm probably putting way too much glue on because I don't think I need it all the way to the bottom of the page. But it's okay. Whoops. So I guess I need to pull out the other things I have cut out so I can start work in the little field notes journal that Ann had sent to me. All right, and I got it past the page, but not glued down all the way. Morning, Teresa. Morning, Mama Juju. Now, I did see that somebody else was on, but I had already planned to come on, so sorry if I'm stepping on anybody's toes this morning. It was either come on now or not at all, so I thought this would be better. All right, I'm going to move that because I think we're done gluing. I will have to clean these scissors because I use these for all sorts of things. This over here, and I got a little bit hanging off the bottom. And again, this is a handmade journal that I had made, what did I say, in 2023, using somebody else's art that I saved from the trash at the Goodwill bins. I like to buy the canvases and then cut them off the board and reuse the canvas. Oh well, it's all right. All right, so there's add magazine images. And the next one I said I was going to do is the add numbers. I don't like that this has got wrinkles in it, but hey ho, that's how it goes sometimes. So I have rubber stamps with numbers. And I think I also have a stencil with numbers. And I think I'd like to use the stencil. So let me see if I can find that. Look around. Scott went thrifting the other day without me, and he got a 6-pack of 5x7 board canvases. You know, the ones like I do art on to mail. He got those for $1.99, which I thought was really good. So let's look through the stencils and see if we can find the one with numbers. Some of these I haven't ever used. I'm pretty sure I have one with numbers. I'm just going fast because I'm looking for the numbers. And I'm not real good about keeping the packaging. These doily ones I got off Amazon. It was like a 12-pack for not very much money, and I got all different kinds of doilies. Love this bubble one. But we're looking for numbers. Got arrows. All right, well, there's letters. Come on, I got to have something with numbers. If I don't, that's something I need to put on my wish list. It's a stencil with numbers. See, that one's never been used, and so many are not used. Maybe that needs to be a new prompt. Use one of your stencils that you've never used before. Okay, letters, 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 numbers. We're just going to use this one here. Let's just leave it open so I'll remember to put it back. I'll set it over here on this table. And let's see here. I'm thinking put some numbers so they're kind of in the background, but avoid her face if I can. Maybe up like this, and then just avoid her pretty face. So I need a color of paint. So maybe something really dark in the purple range. Let's see if we can make this aubergine work. And I've got my sponges here on my table. If I could get, maybe I'll see if I can get Scott over the weekend to hook up my desktop so I could have more desk space. Because I could watch you guys on the monitor for the desktop. And yeah, that would be good. Hi, Karen. Good morning. I'm not going to put out a lot of paint because I really want to try to keep this as dry as possible. So we'll just put out a little bit of paint. All my paint is getting so old because I haven't used it. Oh, look at that. That's gross. Let's actually put this up here. And then see if I can avoid her pretty face. It's not wanting to stick to the magazine page. I should have roughed it up a little bit with a little bit of sandpaper or something. We're going to go with it because that's how we roll this morning. Gotta remember not to go on her face. That might be as good as that's going to get. And I'm going to go throw this in the sink. Be right back. Alrighty. So we've added our numbers. And then I had add fibers. So let me think. I do have a few little threads here. That I could put on here. These are offcuts from a stitching project. Might as well use what's right on my desk, right? So, all right, let me get some glue. And I'll get one of those little cuticle stick things to try to manage this. And I'm going to just open my glue bot, my baby bot, and just scoop glue out because it's gotten so thick in here it doesn't move. And I want to use this glue up. So that's what we'll do. I'm going to put some glue on here. That's probably more than enough glue. Oh dear, now I've lost the cap thing off the other side. I'm going to be like Mary today and struggle with this lid. So my brother-in-law is the same age as I am. And just keep him in your thoughts because he has heart problems. So hopefully today's procedure will alleviate some things they've noticed and it will go smoothly. All right, so I am going to glue some of these down here. It's going to look like a hot mess because I'm going to have glue all over it. Didn't say it had to be pretty. There we go. So there's a piece of fiber added. All right. Think I can do a spiral? I don't know. Have to concentrate. Sorry. Whoops. There goes that big old bullfrog outside. Scott came in the other day. He'd been out in the garage. He was listening to the neighbor's chickens. He said, it sounds like they're singing. I said, yeah, they appreciate every day. Be like a chicken, appreciate every day. Sing a little song in your heart every day. Just like a chicken. You don't know when you'll go. Oh, flubba dubba 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 dubba. I'm getting glue everywhere. It's okay, because I don't care. There we go. There's a spiral. We'll see what this looks like when it's dry. This stuff's supposed to dry clear. We'll see. I might have just made a horrendous mess on my page, but whatever. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, I thought that was who it was. I had planned to come on, so hopefully she'll be okay with it. I was going to come on in the afternoon, but I have to take my 97-year-old mother-in-law to the hospital because she said that's her baby and she wants to be there. So she wanted to go at 9:00, and there's no point in taking her at 9:00 because, he's going to be in prep, he's going to be in the procedure, he's going to be in recovery. And she would start, I didn't tell her this, but she would start wondering why it was taking so long, and she would get loud, and yeah. Ooh, it's getting warm in here. I put a sweater on it first thing in the morning when I'm waking up because when my circulation has, shut down for sleeping, it takes me a minute to get warmed up and going. And then when I do, there you go. All right, so I've added some fibers. I've got a lot more. I gotta lose the sweater though. Holy macaroni. I think it's gonna be in the 90s again today, if not hotter. All right. Whew. I'd love to add some more of this if y'all can tolerate me putting strings down. And I always figure, thinking about getting on, stepping on someone else's toes, there's always the replay. You don't have to hang with me unless you want to. And there's always the replay later. I don't get upset about being on at the same time too much. Oh, I stuck my other finger in the glue on the other side. Scott's other brother is coming for a visit on Sunday. They didn't want to travel in the 4th of July traffic from Tennessee. And since they have to go a way roundabout than 40 because, 40's fallen off the side of the mountain, basically. I-40, that is. You have to go around. When we went to Tennessee, I think we got on 40 like for just a short distance, but it was in a spot that wasn't damaged. And most of the way we took 176 back roads. And it does take longer because they weave you in and out of the mountains. But God, it was so beautiful. That's when we learned that if you get distracted looking at pretty things, that the car, Scott's new car, the Mazda, it'll tell you, it looks like it's time you need to take a break. Because apparently I was crossing lanes and stuff, but we didn't pass very many people on those back roads. So it was real easy to get, loose at the wheel, so to speak, as you're oohing and ahhing over the prettiness of the countryside. Because it sure was pretty on those back roads up there. There's no saying I have to use the complete length of string, is there? I could just cut this when I get a spiral made. Scott said, "Whoa, the car's never told me that." I said, "The car is used to your driving. I've had, at that point, I'd only driven the car like 3 times because it's his car and he uses it for work. So it's rarely in the driveway available for me to take, right? So I wasn't used to driving this car. Plus, we're on winding, beautiful country roads. So yeah." Ooh. Yeah, I'm getting some more glue out because I'm having fun making spirals. And I'm using up this thread that's just sitting here in a bowl. These cuticle jabber things I got at thrift store. Whole package of them. Again, holding my breath as I spread glue. Sorry about that. And work this around here. And did I see Josie come in? I thought I saw Josie. I need to check because I think YouTube unsubbed me from Josie. Good morning, Joyce. We're playing with stuff today. Whoops. Maybe I'll let that go. Well, I've just put all this glue out. We'll use the glue up. Let's see here. Let's put one of these up in her hair. Life is short. Forget where we were. I think we were in Dollar General, and we were looking at what they'd shoved into their clearance area. And I said, "Look, Scott, I could dye my hair blue. They got blue hair coloring, but I don't know how that would do. Hair coloring on gray hair just doesn't work very well." So I said, I don't think I'm brave enough for that. And then I keep getting offered up to get one of those silk bonnets to sleep in. There's a sweet little gal. She says, "Hey, all my white girlfriends, don't you want to try one of these?" And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am, I do." But I have trouble justifying spending money on myself for things like that. Because when I was younger, I would have heard something like, "Why do you think you need that, girl?" I was called girl a lot. So yeah, I don't. I'm going to put a saying or something there. Let's put this one here. Scott would tell me, just buy it. Because he does all he can to try to spoil me. Because that's just how sweet he is. Oh, I think I've glued one of my own hairs in it. Yep, that's one of my hairs. Should I leave it there? Yep, that's gray as it can be. I'm giving my art a piece of my heart, or no, hair. All right. All right, I've made enough mess. I'll save this thread in the bowl for another project. And the Post-it note will get used here. All right, I've added fibers. It says use spray paint or ink. The problem I have with that one, thanks, Lala. Oh, Safia just got back from the supermarket. Finally, a lot to get after not going out for days with the heat. I left the house yesterday, and it was actually cooler than it had been, but it was still stifling with humidity. Every day I wake up and my phone says, possible chance of thunderstorms. I said, you lying wench, because I haven't had a storm but once in all these times that she keeps telling me there's a storm coming. I said, yeah, you're lying. But yeah, I don't have any spray. Well, I have spray paint, but I'm not going to spray it in the house. And then it says or ink, but it doesn't say spray ink. So I'm thinking, let's just use some ink from a pen, maybe. Maybe we could use a Sharpie or something and go around the numbers. I just got to be careful not to get in glue. Let's see. I might actually cheat and use a Posca. I got a yellow Posca out. Yeah, I feel so bad for y'all over in the European countries because, oh my gosh, I just can't imagine having all the heat and humidity and no air conditioning for those that don't have air conditioning. I have to be careful with this Posca. If I remember right, this one, if you press too hard, it globs out. And I don't want to do that. But I had a lot of fun out and about yesterday. I was so glad to get back home. Oh, I remember the other place I went yesterday. I filled the truck up with gas before the weekend because they'll hike the gas prices up. So if you're planning to go anywhere, do it before Friday. Or I would do it before tomorrow. Get your cars filled up because they'll jack the prices for the holidays. They always do. So I paid $2.63 and it took $52 to fill the truck up because we've got to go to Greenville. I don't know if Scott's going to try to get the Gravely tractor this time, is why we're taking the truck. But the whole reason we're going up there is he did an order to Mouser, which is a electronics parts company, and he had accidentally sent it to the Greenville address. So we've got to go up and see. I hope the package is still there and that somebody hasn't stolen it after we drive all the way up there. And maybe we'll go to some thrift stores up there. I would love to go to Pizza House up in Travelers Rest for lunch. And Scott can get that salmon salad that he loves so much. It's basically a green salad that comes with I don't know, what do you call salmon when it's just a big lump of salmon? Is it like a salmon steak? Would that be what you call it? I don't know. I don't eat salmon like that. Scott loves it. My favorite fish is flounder. What's y'all's favorite fish? Or do you avoid fish? I have a brother-in-law that's allergic to shellfish. Charity shops, yes. Janet went to one when she was traveling, and it looked like it would be a lot of fun to check into. All right, so I added some ink, but it's really not. We're going to pretend it's ink because it came out of a pen. How about that? Out of a pen shape. Now I'm supposed to splatter with burnt orange, but I don't want it on her pretty face. So I'm going to use a Post-it note and just cover her pretty face like so. And then I'll get some burnt orange. And then I'm supposed to use a fine liner. Let's see if I can find the burnt orange. Oh, the orange is on the back side of this cart. So I got to pull this cart out of the way. And then turn this cart this other way so I can get to the back side of it. Oh, la, la, la. That's terracotta. Whoops. There goes my hands letting go of stuff. That's terracotta. I swear that's two different shades of terracotta. That just goes. You can't go by color when it's, you got to go figure out which ones you like from. That's spiced pumpkin. Maybe I used the last of my burnt orange. That's bright orange. Definitely don't want that. Well, I guess I'll use spiced pumpkin instead. Something close to a burnt orange. And I want a fan brush. Oh, and then I need something to put a little water in to the paint. I had a spray bottle. I think I was using it to squirt the cats when they were being naughty. Oh, there's a tray. I knew I had one. All right. Where's the spray bottle? Oops. Okay. All right. And then we'll see if we can find one of my line makers that's not completely gummed up. That's basically going to be my page. Put a little squirt in here. Well, that's probably too much. Let's see. Let's hold this down. All right. I'll rinse these out. Let that dry for a sec. Whoa. And so tomorrow we'll be going to Greenville for the day, and I got a dentist appointment that I have to go to before we can go get on the road, but we could go to the dentist appointment and then leave straight from there. Let's see if I can plug this in back here. All right, heat gun alert. we've got here and what's I don't have the fine liner like Mary has. I have these little guys, and we'll see if any of them that have paint in them will actually work. They've been made up for a long time, so I don't know if they'll even work. But as with any live, I've pulled out stuff, and the carts are all pulled. Yeah, let's see if any of these will work. This is the last prompt on the list. Let's see. Oh, that actually works pretty good. So maybe we'll just do some dots of blue. I wish you could hear that frog. And that's in somebody's swimming pool. I will have to set this somewhere to dry where the cats can't lay on it or get on it. Let's put some more paper. Looks like I've got some that needs to be trimmed away, but we can wait till it's dry. All right. Thank you. It's just something thrown together with prompts. Why can't I get that to go back on? Because you're trying to put it in the wrong end, Becky. That's why. I like how these little bottles have a top that goes over and really seals the ends shut. Let's see if any of these white or cream ones work. Ooh, yeah. And I need to find my my date stamp, and I'll put today's date on here. Put some dots on her tummy. There we go. Your husband's Malaysian, so you cook all sorts of stuff. Oh, you got to go? Bye, Karen. Thanks for the thumbs up. I got a comment from Mary Panish popped up. It says, I look forward to the watercolor play. I've got that book. I need to look at that. So that's the prompts basically. But I do want to add the date to this. So let me see if I can find my date. It says this is supposed to go to 2031. Let's see, what year was it still on? Because I haven't used this in a while. I think it's on 2024, and I need it to say July. No, let's see. July. Man, it has been a long time since I used this. $2025, and today is I don't know what this says. Let's see. Oh, July 88th, 2031. 2031. No, that says January. All right. So this has to go down July. Bear with me. July 2nd is what I need. Let's see what this says. July 2nd, 2031. So, $31, $30. Let's see, what does it say now? 2023. That'd be 24 and 25. July 2nd, 2025. Woohoo! There's Greg. Morning, Greg. I'm live.
I'm tired. Didn't want to wake up.
Oh, it doesn't show there. There we go. I'm afraid I got it in paint, is why I'm trying to see what I got. So yeah, these handy dandy ones. This one says it's good until then, 2031. So now I've got paint everywhere. And I guess I need to put my initials on it. And I got in the glue. Doesn't surprise me. I guess I could talk to you about a future project I have to do. All right, here we go. And that was our prompts. And the prompts are at the top. If you click on my yellowed name up there, you should be able to see it. I'm going to set this aside to dry. And that's what we did with our prompts that we had today. Let that get good and dry somewhere. We'll leave it on top of the cart. Let me go wash my hands real quick. Oh, that ink got everywhere. I hope my brother-in-law thinks to let the staff know that his mother's coming, because, you know, with the whole rules about who can get information and stuff, if he doesn't have her name on there, we could run into a problem. So I'm hoping he remembers to do that. Averaging. All right, so I'm going to be working on basically a pet portrait, and it's for my brother-in-law. This is his old cat, and she recently passed away. So I have started doing the preliminary work. I printed off on photo paper so I could get closer to her true colors. She was a very old cat. And then I printed it on just regular paper. And then I've put a piece of deli paper over it, and I taped it to a window. And I went over and colored in the areas that are the darkest and outlined the whites. And then everything else is kind of that kind of gray and tannish color. She does have a little tan where the light was hitting her on her nose and over here. So I've done all of this work. I will not do this live again because it's hours of work, and I'll probably work on it a little and then stop and then come back to it so that the glue can dry in between and I won't get as much buckling. And I do have to do a canvas to mount her on, and I'm probably going to do like an 8x8. I think that'd be a good size for this particular picture. But I'm going to go through my painty papers and see what I have in the grays and kind of charcoal and that to do her in. It looks funny the way this printed off, but when I hold it like that, that's her true colors. And her name was Briscoe, like off Law and Order. Briscoe, do you remember that character? Lenny. So Lenny Briscoe. That actor, I think, passed away from prostate cancer. But anyway, that's irrelevant. I'm going to work on this. I don't know when I'll give it to him. I might save it for Christmas time. But this is something I've got that I'm going to be working on. And I don't have anything wet left here. So I want to show you how far I got yesterday with my stitching. I left it in the frame. I know you're not supposed to, but I thought I would be working on it again today. And getting this Q snap frame apart is kind of a pain in the neck. I don't know. See, there's the flower is coming together. But when I'm working with the white onto the cream, that is so hard to see. You can see how it just about blends. There you go. Now you can see there's white on there. So I just got to do another, I think there's another petal comes up here and then this petal here. And I got to do the white in all of these petals here. So it's coming together. I just, yeah. This is going to take me a while. Because even with the magnifying lamp, I'm really having to squinch in. And, yeah. Fun times, fun times. So I guess I'll let you guys go and get your day started and see if Jacqueline's still on. And I guess I'll let you go at that. That's what I'm going to be working on in the background. I'll show you updates on it every once in a while. And I'll bring our page back over now that I've got my stitching away from it. All right, so that's what we did. I will put the prompts down in the description box. Hi, Maria. Just saw you. I'm sorry. So I'm going to let you go. Have a wonderful day. Oh, she went to work? Okay. Bye, guys.